Shalom to you all. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Black Victors. Today's topic is speech impairment, God's mouthpiece. I'm reading from Exodus chapter 4, verse 1 to 29. In Exodus chapter 3, we learned that the Lord appeared to Moses within a consuming fire, so Moses could go and tell Pharaoh to let go of his people, and to also go tell the Israelites that the Lord, the God of their ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, had appeared to him. In Exodus chapter 4, we are learning that Moses is debating with God. So Moses replied to God, what if they don't listen to me? What if they don't believe me and actually disagree that you actually appeared to me in the wilderness? And the Lord asked Moses, what are you holding on your hand? Moses replied, a rod. Then the Lord said, throw the rod to the ground. Moses threw the rod to the ground, and it became a snake. And he actually ran away from it. And God told him, go back and pick it up from its tail. Moses picked up that snake from its tail, and it was transformed back to its original state of a rod. And God told Moses, this should be a sign and a confirmation to the Hebrew Israelites that the Lord, the Father of their ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to you. The Lord performed different miracles in front of Moses in the wilderness of Mount Horeb. For example, he told Moses to put his hand in his cloth. Moses put his hand inside his cloth, and he took it out. It became as white as snow. So he had leprosy on his hand. And the Lord told him, put it back and take it out. He put his hand back into his cloth, and when he took it out, he turned back to its original state, and the skin was actually restored. And God said, okay, this should be a sign. And also, if the Hebrew Israelites don't believe the first sign, they may actually believe the second sign. However, if they don't believe any of these signs, go to the Nile River, fetch water, and pour it on the ground. It will turn into blood. Moses started making excuses and actually debating with the Lord. He said, pardon your servant, Lord. I have a speech impairment. I can't talk smoothly. I am a stutterer. I stutter. And God said to Moses, who gave human beings their mouth? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who give them sight or make them blind? Isn't it I, the Lord? Now go, I'll help you speak and teach you how to approach Pharaoh. Moses said, pardon your servant, Lord. Please find someone else. Moses failed to understand that God was willing to use him despite his speech impairment, despite his deficit. Moses allowed his condition to define who he was. He wanted to be perfect to God, but God uses the imperfectly perfect. Moses was leaning in his own understanding. He allowed societal norms to consume his perceptions about his ability to communicate. As Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 to 6 states, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge him, and he'll make straight your path. This is exactly what the devil does to our mind. The devil messes up with our minds. He makes us feel less of ourselves, and he makes us maintain negative connotations about ourselves, thinking that we are unable to do different things. He sends people who have held on to our past behaviors to hinder us from progressing spiritually. Those kind of people who are still attached to our outdated version of ourselves. The kind of people who are just addicted and obsessed with rumors, busybodying here and there. Those who want to remind us of how we used to bump and grind and drop it like it's hot in the club. No, beloved, you are a changed and grown person. Erase those kind of people in your history book. You don't need them. That's a distraction. What does not change does not grow. Misery seeks company. They're always attracting miserable people. They need company so they can be miserable together. Myself, I have no room for those who want to resuscitate my past transgressions. I'm keeping it pushing, keep pushing from now on, because I have been transformed by He who conquered the grave. Because He that is within me is greater than he that is in the world. He is greater than my sins. Moses might have had a speech impairment, but God chose to use him. Moses was a criminal in Egypt, but God used him as a deliverer of his people. Moses might have had an anfractuous path, but Jehovah Ebenezer straightened his path. Moses was born with a deficit, but God chose him as his vessel. The more excuses Moses made about his inability to communicate, the angrier God became with him. Then God ended up proposing Aaron, his brother, to speak on his behalf. God told Moses, Aaron is already on his way to meet with you, and he'll be glad to see you. God is omnipresent. He has no geographic limitations. He was debating with Moses in the wilderness. Moses, who didn't want to actually fulfill his calling. And at the same time, he was spiritually connecting and actually preparing and conversing Aaron to go and meet Moses on his way back to Egypt to free his people from bondage of 400 years of free service. Moses couldn't escape his calling, because that's what he was meant to do. Most of us have callings. We have ministries in this world. No matter what we do, when the time comes, God will align us with our ministries. Trust me, I'm an example. So the Lord actually instructed Moses to tell Aaron all that had happened, all that had actually been performed before him in the wilderness of Mount Horeb. And the Lord said, go, you and Pharaoh, I'll help you, and I'll teach you how to speak and approach Pharaoh. Aaron will speak for you, and he will be as if you were your mouth, and you will be as if you were his God. But bring your rod with you so you can perform signs and wonders before Pharaoh. Moses started preparing to go back to Egypt. Moses went back home and told his father-in-law, Jethro, that he must let him go and see if his people were still alive in Egypt. So Moses and his wife and his children, they returned back to Egypt. So the Lord said, I will harden the heart of Pharaoh. He will refuse to let go of my people, but I will kill every firstborn son of his nation. Moses, I've given you the power to perform signs and wonders before him. However, the Lord almost killed Moses because Moses did not circumcise his son. But because his wife Sephora was aware of Moses' costumes of the Hebrews, so she circumcised the son, and Moses' life was actually saved. Then the Lord told Aaron, go into the wilderness to meet Moses. Aaron went to meet Moses in the wilderness, and he learned about all that the Lord had done to Moses in the wilderness of Mount Horeb. So Moses and Aaron went to Egypt, and they assembled all the Hebrew elders. Aaron told them all that the Lord had actually performed to Moses and what Moses had actually experienced with God. So Moses also performed miracles before the Hebrews, and they believed him. They learned that the Lord had actually received their cries. So they were so happy, they bowed down and actually worshiped the Lord. Moses had a speech impairment, but God used him as his mouthpiece. Moses didn't believe in himself. He doubted his ability to communicate and convey the message of God to the Israelites and to King Pharaoh. But God just continued to give him the power and the authority over whatever was hindering him to actually fulfill his destiny. Moses wanted to avoid his calling, but God made sure that he put him in alignment of what he had created him to do on earth. Beloved, do not doubt yourself. We all have talents. We have ministries in this world. We're all called to do different things. We can't do the same thing. Then life will be boring. Because what you can do, I cannot do. Do not allow your condition to determine your future. Because you could be used as God's mouthpiece. The same way he used Moses, who had a speech impairment, he will use you regardless of your deficit, regardless of your transgressions. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel, Black Victors.